So good morning folks, welcome to the second episode of Australian Car Collector and welcome to the second episode of the Leyburn Sprints, coming to you all the way from Leyburn in Queensland of all places. Another great day of racing, beautiful sunny day, welcome to the middle of winter in Queensland. We're looking forward to bringing you a whole heap more interviews with some incredible people and their amazing machinery.
This is a Bailey replica from South Africa I bought out of Hong Kong. Not sure how long ago it was built, but front to rear looks very good quality body. The main feature of course is the Ferrari engine, so a 4.8 quad cam V12, individual throttle bodies. Not a monster, a bit of a torque monster at 4.8 litres. Done a fair bit of work at Phillip Island and Eastern Creek with it, but I've kept the revs down. I mean, a big V12 the belts are A13 and they're all within 10 or 20 horsepower of each other. They all do the same times around all the same circuits. So the cars that completed in 66, 67 or would have completed, I've got them all as replicas today, all doing the same times around the tracks.
Well, maybe the consistency of you, mate.
That's, it's not consistency, it's my limit. That's as fast as I can go.
Folks, in the open wheel sections of the vehicles getting around here at Leyburn at the moment, you've got some really small dainty things, and then you start getting up into the V8 sections. And I'm here with David and this really impressive motor car behind us, which has got really some provenance of itself. I believe it's a 1973?
Yeah, 1973 Bowen.
Okay.
And a fellow by Bruce Allison originally brought it.
So 1990, won a hillside
Australian
hill climb champion. Wow. And in this configuration with the V8 in it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So this is around about a Formula,
Well,
5,000-ish.
That's right, yeah.
So a Ford engine?
No, P76 with rover heads on it.
So we've got a Leyland engine with rover heads.
And it's nice and light.
Right.
Runs on methanol.
Okay.
Pushing out 400 horsepower.
Wow.
And car.
And is this your first foray into open wheel motor cars?
No, I've been doing it since 21.
Okay.
So a lot of
You're
years
an old
ago.
hand at it.
I used to run down at Surfers Paradise,
Right.
Lakeside, do a lot of hill climbs.
So you're still enjoying it?
Oh yeah, I'll keep enjoying it for a bit longer yet.
Great stuff, mate. And have you always been into open wheels, or have you done the tin tops as well?
No, never done the tin tops. I used to do Group A sports cars years ago, which virtually were open wheels as well.
Okay.
But I enjoy it.
Fantastic.
Don't do enough of it, but
Yeah. Well, it's getting harder and harder, isn't it? There's so many tracks closing down.
yeah.
People saying, I don't want the noise near my house and all that sort of stuff.
Work gets in my way.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. And do you work on the car yourself too?
I do. If I bend it or something like that, I don't. But I did a bit of homework on it for this weekend.
Right.
2 weeks' time, we're off to Grafton to do the Historic Hill Climb Championships.
Fantastic. Jeez, so you really get around in it when you can.
Yeah, I try to.
That's brilliant, mate. And what was your history with cars, David?
My father had a service station in Bodessa, and I was always down at the service station, bloody tinkering around.
Right.
And that's how I got my love for motorsport.
Brilliant. So do you remember what your first car was?
It was the Nola hole,
Okay.
and Mum and Dad hated me racing.
Right.
So
What can you do? Sorry, Mum. Sorry, Dad. It's better than chasing girls.
well, we did a bit of that too.
Okay. One leads to the other. Fantastic. And it certainly sounds the part. It's got a really nice note to it, mate.
Thanks for saying that.
Well, mate, thank you for bringing it along. I think it's a glorious thing. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, David. Great to meet you. We've just wandered into, I'm going to call it a caravan park. It's here at the Leyburn Sprints, and if you remember the van parks of old where you go down to the beach and you catch up with friends who might be from the other side of the country, but they come to the same single spot every single time, that's what this is like. It's just a trip down memory lane, beautiful old vans with some great old vehicles towing them. Let's go and have a look. We've got the Ford F1, we've got Wilma, the Olympic. What a combo, what a great way to cruise. I remember staying in caravan parks as a kid. We'd been 10. We used to envy people in a Viscount caravan. One of the most stylish cars I've ever seen is the Studebaker. Period correct Craigar wheels on it. Beautiful paint job. Well, so you too. I don't think.
It was only the second time we've used it.
Really? So Rosemary was saying you've only had the van since the start of the year?
Yeah.
And where did you find it?
Melbourne.
And was it in this sort of condition, or have you had to put a lot into it?
No, we bought it fully restored.
Right.
I'm into cars as well, and I've been restoring my own cars for many years.
Okay.
And we wanted one of these vans, and I'm running out of time, so we bought it
now or
restored.
never.
One.
We'll
Yeah.
have to buy it ready restored, or we'd never
And-
have it on the road.
Right,
Too
okay.
many other projects.
Yeah,
And-
fair enough.
And
Two car projects.
so we wanted a Kennedy caravan because,
Of the name, yeah, for sure. Mate, it's beautiful. So tell me about the Studebaker. How long have you had that now?
about 15 years.
Okay. And did you do the restoration? on that?
Not all of it. I bought it as a partially restored vehicle.
Right.
So the bodywork had been done,
Okay.
but I've done gearbox, diff, and suspension, and brakes, and all that sort of it.
Well, he
You've
had
spun it
other
around.
cars, and I was making clothes. We've got Roaring 20s and Edwardian. We've got 100-year-old cars. He's a car fanatic.
What
And
other
I'm more into
vehicles have you-
fashion.
Oh,
You
that's incredible.
shouldn't stop me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look, all I can say is thank you so much for talking to us today.
No, that's
It's
okay.
just- the people that you happen along, see, that's the whole idea. Is when you come to events like this, stop and have a chat and meet some wonderful people and
Yeah, you
find
get
out
the
a bit about
background
life.
behind what's represented.
Yep. And if you can meet people who've come off the land, even better still. Questions we try to always ask people about their cars is, what's the very first car that you had, or what car did you learn to drive on? Because there's usually a story to that somewhere along the line as well. For me, this is the one. So this is a Mark II 1976 Escort panel van. My mum had a Mark I, so it had the square headlights on the front, not the round ones like this. It was 1972. And that was the car that I learned to drive on. So from the age of about 12, I used to sit in the thing and just practice going up and down through the gears, up and down, up and down. And very naughtily, she'd take me out on some old, actual public roads, but they were more or less deserted roads. And she would put me in the driver's seat and she would walk in front of the car, and I used to have to learn how to control the speed of the car with a bit of clutch movement on it so that I wouldn't run her over. But the memories I have of that van are fantastic. Eventually, like a lot of Escorts, it rusted out, which was a real shame, because I just had a look on this one. This one's for sale, and they want $16,000 for it. That's probably a pretty good price compared to what they're pulling these days. They're a lovely little car. Mum's had a problem in that the typical bombs, they put the alternator right down low in the engine bay, so every time you hit a puddle, the alternator would get splashed, the distributor would get splashed, and the thing would just grind to a halt through lack of momentum. But a wonderful little car, great to drive, and geez, I wish we still had it. Folks, in the world of motor racing, there are a couple of things that you can really judge a car on. Obviously how quick the thing goes, what it looks like around the track, but also what it looks like when it's stopped. And this car is amazing. The presentation on this is just outstanding. I'm standing here next to its owner, Mark. Mark, tell us about this beautiful car, mate.
It's a Shelby Cobra based on a 1965 model. It's built in the mid-80s by RMC. Now there's only one of 5 in Australia, this being number 1. The company got Shelby, Carroll Shelby and his engineers over, and they authorised the build.
Wow.
And that, so yeah.
So this is no thrown together kit car in somebody's backyard.
It's not a home job. No,
this is a factory built. There it is, Carroll Shelby endorsed. Beautiful machine. And how long have you had it, mate?
I've had it for a couple of years. The previous owner was Glenn Stewart. Unfortunately died in a racing accident a couple of years back, and then I was managed to get my hands on it. So yeah, here it is. And normally stays tucked away in bed, but yeah, come out for this event.
Awesome, mate. Well done. So, is this your first dip in the water?
It is. At Leyburn, yes, it is. Yeah. First time out here. So, see how we go.
How are you finding the track?
Tight. Corners are very tight.
Okay.
So,
right. So we had a little bit of oil spilled on the track out there before. I noticed that you sort of pulled back a little bit wisely.
I wasn't going to give it any because of the sand and oil and that. Yeah, and like to lose this would be devastating.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So, tell me about your history with cars, Mark. This is obviously not your first bit of
No. My history cars. I had a Morris 48 that I restored from for scratch, and that got moved on to a family down in Melbourne just recently because it's just all the work I put into it was starting to deteriorate and just go to waste. I had a 77 Chevy Camaro that I restored as well, and sold that to my nephew.
Nice car.
Yep. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a 350.
Yep.
But it was a beautiful little cruiser. And I just got my hands on a 74 Stingray Corvette, which is in immaculate condition. So we'll pick that up after the event today.
Oh, fantastic, mate. So Targa top or a
it is a Targa top, yes, and she's beautiful. She's immaculate. So
fantastic.
Yeah,
So tell me about going right back in your history with cars. What did you learn to drive on?
Well, I don't know. I've always been around cars and bikes and everything like that. So yeah,
Do you remember the first car you sat in? And
first car I sat in. Oh, it would have been my brother's GTO actually one.
Whoa,
when I was about 16.
That's a pedigree.
And because we lived next to Lakeside, we're always out Lakeside and that. And so yeah.
So it's in your blood.
Exactly. I had a UC Tirana when I had my first car,
Okay.
and that was pretty good. That was actually a 6-cylinder, 186. And then I had a Nissan Exa Turbo, the old 80 model. So that was really good.
Wow.
So they were the cars. Oh, my first car was a Datsun 240K. So yeah, so one of the first Skylines. And I didn't know what I had at the time, and yeah, that didn't last long because it got written off. So yeah.
Mate, look, as common with a lot of us, sort of petrol heads, there's never a real ceiling to the whole thing.
No, exactly.
What's the pinnacle for you? If you had your choice, where would you head?
I really couldn't tell you. I'm just wherever the road takes me and that. And
happy where you are now.
Happy with this beautiful baby, and that's my superannuation sitting there. So so when I retire, so we move it on to someone because I'm really too old to drive it. Getting in and out of it's quite tight.
Mate, I think it's a credit to you. It looks stunning. It's in extremely good condition.
Thank you very much.
And as far as race cars go, mate, this is up there amongst the best of them here.
Hopefully we keep it that way.
Good job, mate. Thank you so much for bringing it out and
no worries.
Having a chat with us.
Yeah.
Great
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you very much.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks.
One of the things I love about meets like this is that you get to see cars from all sorts of different backgrounds, and some of them have literally been all over the world. We have here, Glenn, what is this, a 1967
123 GT
Volvo that competed in the 1993, is that right?
Yeah,
1993 London to Sydney Marathon. Now very shortly Mark's going to actually film the bootloot of this car and you'll get to see the map, But Glenn is now the proud custodian of this incredible little car, and he bought it off the original owner.
Yeah,
is that right?
No, not the original owner, the people who actually did the London Sydney Marathon.
Who did the London Sydney?
Which was Roger and Margaret Eland, who were also the people behind Speed on Tweed in all of it.
So if you remember back to those days of Speed on Tweed, any of the historic racing fans who remember watching those cars zoom around Wollongbar in northern New South Wales, this car and its owner were instrumental in that whole thing starting in the first place.
Congratulations again on Speed on Tweed.
Well, it is, and it's gone fantastically well, absolutely brilliant. We've got a team of people who've put loads of work into getting this thing off the ground, and it's fantastic to see it come to fruition like this. Just a very successful weekend.
And obviously the Australian Grand Prix theme, another fantastic effort.
Well, there's nothing better than seeing that 1928 winning car from that early Grand Prix at Phillip Island and Alan Jones's 1986 Grand Prix car, and seeing the contrast of the two was just brilliant.
So tell me, Glenn, how did you come across?
Well, I was on the committee for Speed on Tweed with Roger, and then when Roger got sick and we rebuilt the car for him, and there was about 6 or 7 people who came in, all his mates, we all got around on weekends, put it all back together for him just before he passed away, and then Margaret sort of didn't want to look at it anymore, so I ended up with it. So,
Mate, it's gone to the right hands.
I don't think it's driven. I know Roger used to drive them hard, but I don't think he drove it as hard as I did.
Is that right? Oh, well done, mate. We'd be up there smiling down. And
we got to prove a point. It is a Volvo.
So you don't have a white hat when you drive around?
No. I couldn't find a bowls hat. I wanted one for the back.
Mate, I think it's a beautiful little car. And the fact that it's gone to the right person is...
It is actually on the market.
Oh, it's on the market. Okay, so there we go. Right, we'll put, if you're interested in historic Volvo racing, this is the man to come and see. We'll pass your number on. Mate, well done. Thanks for bringing it along today.
That's right, no problem.
This
is its third year.
Thank you so much. Great stuff.
We leave the modern-day Leyburn circuit in search of the original location. A huge thanks to Doug and Elizabeth for taking us to the monument in their Ford Model T. Check out part 1 of this series for Doug's introduction to this incredible machine. Only a few kilometres from the Leyburn town, a monument comes into view. 1949 represented just the 3rd year that the AGP had been reintroduced on the annual sporting calendar after a 7-year layoff between 1940 to 46. World War II had played a significant part in all activities in Australia during that time, and ironically, it too would provide another chapter to the Leyburn story when an abandoned World War II airstrip just outside of the main township was used as the venue for the 49 feature. Similar to the 8 years of the historic Leyburn motor sprints, public consultation was vital to the staging of the 49 event. The airstrip intruded on the land of 3 local farming families who granted permission for the site to be established as the Australian Grand Prix track. Their names have been immortalised in racing history, with Hamblin Corner, Porter Corner and Backhouse Bend forming the 3 turns of the original Leyburn circuit. The 150-mile AGP journey played a major hand in establishing the final results of the 1949 Australian Grand Prix at a time when motor racing was endeavouring to shrug off its amateur status. What were described as custom-made special vehicles formed the bulk of the Leyburn field, with a strong contingent of Aussie and MG specials and a number of discarded European models featuring. Many of the entrants succumbed to the elements, with their vehicles unable to complete the 35 laps, and so it was left to the hard-nosed semi-professionals to fight it out. John Crouch, in a sleek-looking Delahaye, collected checkered flag honours to etch his name in Queensland's motoring history books, and along with Frank Kleinig, in a Hudson Special, also obtained the equal fastest lap time for the event. Both drivers clocked 2 minutes 52 seconds around the 6.9 kilometre circuit at an average speed of 145 kilometres per hour. So with the 150-pound winners check handed over and the 30,000 spectators packing up and heading home, Leyburn once again laboured away to its traditional rural tune until 1996, when local Mike Collins, a self-confessed motorsport junkie, latched hold of the idea to establish a commemorative event and immediately contacted the Historic Racing Car Club.
John Dean's car is quite a bit more rapid than, well, he's had the GR Yaris here before. It's got to be a busy man actually. Last weekend, or not last weekend, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, no, it was last weekend, he was racing an Aston Martin, a V8 Vantage in the Queensland Production Sports Car Championship.
Folks, that's the end of this episode of Australian Car Collector. We've had an absolute ball at Leyburn here. It is just the most wonderful little town. Very, very small. As I said at the start of the show, it's an old gold mining town, and the surrounding countryside is gorgeous, especially after a little bit of rain like we've just had. This type of building behind me, this is indicative of what you'll find in this beautiful little place. So if you've got any interest in history, aside from the car race that happens every year, but even just to come to this beautiful little place is well worth your while. Come along, let's see you down here next year, and we really look forward to your comments. If you like the show, please like and subscribe, and if you've got a car, if you'd like to see something featured, or if a friend of yours has got a car, please drop us a line. We'd love to get in contact with them and have a chat.